It was a bright May morning in 2025 in the center of Ouagadougou when there was a request to interrupt the regular rhythm of presidential work. On the other end was Jake Sullivan, the advisor on national security for America. President Traoré, he began, President Trump would like to offer an invitation for a live interview on CNN International. It will be transmitted to all corners of the globe at 8 p.m. Washington time. Ibrahim Traoré was a mere 35 years old, having weathered innumerable political storms as president of Burkina Faso, but nothing quite so fierce. Cradling the phone firmly in his palm, he ordered, "What is it about?" "African development and U.S. relations," Sullivan replied. "President Trump wishes to talk about future partnerships." But Ibrahim was wiser than that. Behind the glib language lay something more. The U.S. was becoming worried about Africa's growing solidarity with China and Russia. "I agree," Ibrahim replied after a pause, "but only if this is on a peer-to-peer basis, not an inquisition." Sullivan paused a moment. "I'll pass your caveat on to the president." The instant the call ended, the palace erupted into action. Chief of Staff Moussa Kabore rushed in. "Mr. President, I listened to the call. This is risky." "All that is political is risky," Ibrahim said. "But this is our moment to let the world see who we really are." It was more than an interview. It was a world stage, a chance to rebrand Burkina Faso's position in the world. Within hours, the palace strategy team had gathered. Foreign Minister Dr. Alain Sourago spread out briefing papers on the conference table. "Trump will try to put us on the back foot," he warned. "You can expect questions about our relations with Russia and China." "Our position is clear," replied Economy Minister Fatimata Sawadogo. "National sovereignty. We partner based on our interests." Communications advisor Yakuba Sawadogo asked another question. Trump interrupts. He dominates. "How do we turn the script?" "With composure, with facts," Ibrahim said, his lips curving slightly into a smile. "He can have experience, but we possess the truth." In Washington, meanwhile, President Trump was conducting a similar strategy session. "This young African president is gaining too much foreign attention," he told his aides. "We must show who's boss." Secretary of State Antony Blinken warned, "Mr. President, Traoré is articulate. He's prepared. Don't underestimate him." "I've got decades of negotiating experience," Trump replied with confidence. Back in Ouagadougou, Ibrahim reviewed the country's economic performance. Since 2022, Burkina Faso had achieved 8.3% GDP growth, reduced extreme poverty by 31%, and paved over 1,200 kilometers of roads. "These numbers are our ammunition," he told his team. "Let Trump talk. The facts will speak louder." His wife, Ajara Traoré, entered quietly with tea. "Nervous?" she asked. "Focused," Ibrahim answered. "This might revolutionize the world's view of Africa." As the clock approached 7:30 p.m., Washington time, the CNN International studios hummed with excitement. Technicians fine-tuned lights, producers verified satellite transmissions. Seasoned anchor Anderson Cooper ready to host what was touted as one of the most significant interviews of the year. "30 minutes until we go live," he said. "President Trump here in Washington. President Traoré, live from Ouagadougou." Around the world in Burkina Faso, a small studio had been set up inside the presidential palace. Ibrahim, adjusting a carefully chosen blue tie, stood tall. Burkina-based sound technicians worked with CNN teams to achieve perfection in the feed. "Test audio, Mr. President," declared the technical director. "Ouagadougou, capital of Burkina Faso, land of standing people," declared Ibrahim clearly. His voice resonated with clarity in the CNN control room in Washington. Trump soon arrived at the studio, clad in his signature red tie and dark suit. He greeted Cooper with a firm handshake. "Ready for this dialogue?" Cooper asked. In Washington, Trump's aides were frantically waving him in. Through American living rooms, viewers sat aghast. Their president had never been put so squarely on the world stage before. Trump attempted a final throw. "You still depend on foreign aid." "Wrong again," replied Ibrahim, beaming. "Burkina Faso is now a net donor to 3 regional countries. We export electricity, food, and technical expertise." The announcement shocked. Trump was silently stunned for the first time during the broadcast. Anderson Cooper realized that this was not just an interview. It was history being made. President Traoré, Cooper asked, what does the future of Africa-U.S. relations look like? Ibrahim leaned forward ever so slightly. He was preparing to leave his greatest mark. Anderson, let me be absolutely crystal clear here. America has always treated Africa as a continent to be helped, never as a partner to be respected. That has got to end. He turned to the camera looking directly at Trump. Mr. President, 21st century Africa does not accept paternalism. We are 54 countries, 1.4 billion strong, with enormous resources and an educated, vibrant youth. Trump stopped him, but Ibrahim raised his hand politely. Please, let me get on. It's important. Africa produces 60% of the world's cobalt, 70% of the world's gold, and 40% of the world's diamonds. We possess the world's youngest population. We are not a charity. We are the future of the global economy. The world breathed as one. China sees us as trade partners. Russia offers military support without humiliation. Europe is rethinking its colonial legacy. And the United States still views us as children needing guidance. Trump's frustration boiled over. You'd have nothing without the West. Ibrahim was ready. We had universities in Timbuktu before colonization, and Europe was in the Dark Ages. African kingdoms were along the trade routes. We were great before Western help, and we shall be great again. Cooper couldn't believe his ears. Everyone around stopped to witness this. Now the contrast is that we understand our worth, and we will not be satisfied with crumbs posing as charity. Trump sat, mouth agape, wordless. He attempted again. But your countries are unstable, corrupt. Talk about it, Ibrahim said serenely. New charts covered the screen. Burkina Faso has reduced terrorist attacks by 73% in the past 2 years. Our corruption score has risen 45 positions. Our murder rate dropped 52%. He paused, then offered a stark contrast. America has 330 million and 40,000 annual gun fatalities. Burkina Faso has 23 million and just 1,200 violent deaths last year. Cooper verified the statistics in real time. They were all true. Your country is committing $800 billion to defense, Ibrahim went on, but still can't keep school children safe. We spend $1 billion and seal our borders from international terrorists. Trump stumbled for a different approach. What about human rights? The following silence was stifling. Anderson Cooper finally ended the broadcast. Thank you, Mr. President, for this enlightening discussion, he stated, well knowing he had just witnessed the worst TV loss of an American president. Within minutes, social media was in meltdown. Traoré destroys, Trump was trending worldwide. The comments flooded in. This young African just taught the best lesson in global politics of the decade. Traoré did not just defend Burkina Faso, he spoke for an entire continent. Trump got schooled, period. In Washington, crisis mode broke out in the White House. Trump's advisors scrambled to try and contain the fallout. Trump departed the CNN studios without speaking. Back in Burkina Faso, celebrations erupted. Crowds flooded Ouagadougou's streets in joy and pride. Ibrahim had become not just a national hero, but a continental icon. World leaders called in admiration. Macron of France. Your performance was masterful. Xi Jinping of China. Africa has found a voice in you. Even Vladimir Putin. You've shown the world the new Africa. 3 days later, the ripple effects extended far. 5 African countries canceled trade deals with American companies. The African Union convened an emergency summit. 47 countries extended Burkina Faso investment proposals within 72 hours. In a news conference in his hometown, Ibrahim did not celebrate. I wasn't battling America, he said. I was battling for African dignity. We desire partnership, not paternalism. And so the world discovered a new Africa had arrived, assertive, articulate, and set to claim its position in the world. Subscribe to the channel for further stories that uncover truth and respect global voices, like this video to support independent storytelling.